In July of 2018, 3 of my hypnosis clients, while in hypnosis, began to channel. Now, you may not know what channeling is, but it's been around forever. One of the more famous examples is the Oracle in Delphi, in what we call ancient Greece. In more modern times, among quite a few others, we have Esther Hicks channeling Abraham, Barbara Marciniak channeling the Palladians, and Daryl Anka channeling Bashar. These channelers all have websites, and all of them are featured many times on YouTube. So if you're not sure what channeling is, check out these sources, and you'll get a pretty fair idea. Now today, one of these 3 channeling clients is here to join me on the show. Her name is Gail Scott, and she channels a group that call themselves Alaster. After I ask Gail a few questions, she'll then go into the altered state of consciousness where she can connect with Alaster, and I will then direct some questions to them. Gail, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm delighted to be here.
Gail, for our audience's benefit, would you give us a little background on yourself, just where you were born, grew up, went to school, that kind of thing?
I was born in Glasgow, in Scotland, and I grew up in Scotland. I stayed in several different places, close to Glasgow and then up in the northeast, beside the North Sea, which was amazing. And I came to Canada in 1988, and I've been here ever since.
Good. You're now a channeler. What's that like?
That's a very different kind of experience. I experience it fully in the present, where I know everything that's going on. I'm completely aware of what I'm saying and how I'm feeling. And my body changes a little bit. I feel very calm and relaxed as I'm doing it. And I'm conscious of the words that are coming out of my mouth, but I'm also conscious of the fact that they're not formulating thoughts in my brain.
Yes. Well, the entities that you channel call themselves Alaster?
Correct.
Well, let's take a break while you get into the state where you can make the connection with Alaster, and we will talk with them.
Welcome.
Welcome
we
to
are feeling good today.
Good. Well, our audience probably doesn't realize this, but you have your eyes open.
I do.
And that's a bit abnormal for you. You were telling me that Gail feels a little distracted by this, but you have lit up. It's too bad this isn't a video. You look wonderful.
The experience that we are having with Gail has been amplified. She, as you know, has taken a long trip recently.
Yes.
And has been able to channel with us, with other people, on her own, without any aid. And we feel very excited by this. And so we decided that we would just naturally open her eyes. And the feeling of channeling for her, we know, is simplified with her eyes closed, as we are doing right now, and yet perfectly capable with eyes open also. We felt it would be nice to make a connection, say hello to you as we were coming into this experience with you today.
Well, you've done that very well, and I know Gail's a pretty animated presenter anyway. So I can just imagine you on the stage moving around, and
we will sparkle everywhere we go.
Well, would you please just take a moment and tell our audience who you are and what you're doing here?
We are a beautiful, sparkly, light group of non-physical beings that float around in your amazing universe, our amazing universe. And we bring light. We bring light into darkness. We bring hope where there may be little. We bring love where there may be, let us not use the word hate, but less than loving experiences having with the people that we communicate with. And we really believe that your planet is in dire need of love and light, and we are excited to be here. We have spent many, many thousands of years together. We have a multitude of non-physical beings in our chapter, let's call them. And we explain the vision to Gail as a big, big cloud that is all sparkly dust. And within that cloud, each sparkle is one of us, and we are united. And we speak in this way in order that you may understand it coming from one voice, but it is many voices with many years of experience, knowledge, love, and much to share for your planet.
I wonder if you could be a little more specific in some areas. You mentioned you're bringing light, you're bringing love. Can you give us an example of how you would do that and how it would affect individual humans?
We hope to be able to bring a communication to your planet which will give you specific tactical tools that will help you to feel more peace. There is a lot of pain on Earth at this time, and we would hope to bring an end to suffering. Perhaps not completely in Gail's lifetime as the communicator that she is for us, but we would hope to bring a good measure of relief to the pain that people are experiencing. Most of the pain that comes through human beings is false. It is not real. It is, of course, derived from your fears as human beings. And we, with our lengthy experience and knowledge and wisdom, know that that is a short-lived experience. And we would like to shorten it even further for the human beings that we can impact with our beautiful voices and our beautiful messages of hope and love. We also hope to bring you some strategies that you may begin to employ in order to shift some of the negativity that surrounds you on such an ongoing basis.
What are some of the medium through which you would impart this information? I could see, as many channelers do, having public events, sometimes personal counseling, sometimes books, videos, those kind of things. Are you looking for venues and opportunities for those kinds of things, or do you have something else in mind?
We are encouraged by Gail's what is the word we are looking for? Desire to bring our message to the masses. And that means that she will use any means possible in order to do that. Obviously, we understand that the message will come one at a time, and so the events that she holds will generate an interest in the kind of communication that we are bringing. We also will be instructing her in the written word in order for her to write material such as books and reports, and we see perhaps even a documentary movie coming out about the kinds of messages that we are bringing. All of these mediums can be found helpful for human beings, as well as the written word in book form. But we notice on your planet that the use of video media is extremely popular, especially with the younger generation. These beautiful young people who are going to inhabit your planet long after you and Gail have left. And so therefore, we desire Gail to be able to transmit our messages both using the verbal in-person experience, which we find to bring our message of love much more fully than any other way. And also because she is talented and able to do this well. And that the books will, of course, be targeted to those who enjoy that medium, and the movie will bring a much broader perspective to a much larger audience. This is not something that is going to happen quickly, but as the momentum builds, the opportunity will arise and it will be very beneficial for your population.
This initiative on your part seems to coincide with what many people are talking about, a shift in consciousness or a progression from the third dimension of consciousness to the fourth. Is that what's going on with us on the planet now?
We do not discuss in these terms. We prefer to use everyday language, which we know Gail has always wanted to be able to communicate with the man on the street. And so therefore, when we understand the technology and the terminology that you are using in terms of dimensions and shifts of consciousness, but the average person on your planet does not understand those terms as yet. And so we prefer to explain it in a way where we are bringing more joy to people's lives. And yes, of course, there is a transition happening at this point within the planetary systems, not just on Earth, and yet Earth is deeply impacted. And there will be shifts, as you describe, where people's levels of awareness and the way that they live their lives, they will begin to bump up against some difficulties. This could be a way to describe this transition that you have mentioned, the fourth dimension versus the third dimension. We prefer to remain neutral on those kinds of terms and describe it in a way where the average person can understand how their life will be impacted. And that comes more from the perspective of, are you living in joy? Are you experiencing pain? Would you like more pleasure? Is your life peaceful, or is it dramatic and eventful in a negative way? And if it is, we would like to help you to be able to transition into a more peaceful, joyful, pleasurable state. We would like to acknowledge that there definitely are vibrational shifts happening, and this is not the way that we will be communicating at this time.
Well, for the average man on the street, from your perspective, what is the biggest obstacle to their progression?
The biggest obstacle for most people is a distinct lack of belief in their own validity, in their own self-worth, in their love of themselves. There is a huge amount of human beings who are outwardly directed in order to feel valuable. This is not an appropriate way to live as a human being. This is not why your soul comes to this planet, in order to have other people validate who and what you are. The love that is within your soul and within all of us, and even within the entire galactic system, is not dependent on what happens outside of ourselves or anything else, since all is one. But most people tend to look outward and believe that what someone else says must be right, or if I do it this way, they will love me. This is a inaccurate way of being for a human, and there has been much influence on human beings over the many thousands of years that you have been on your planet. And we would hope that in a sense people come back to themselves, and this is the transition that we are looking to assist with. And from that place, people will feel more calm, more peace, more joy, more love, more connection.
Well, we're just about running out of time, and with the remaining time, is there sort of a final word or message that you would have for our listeners?
We are very excited to be here with you. We have waited a long time to find the right person in order to communicate through. As much as there is darkness on your planet, there is light, and we are excited about bringing it to a greater level of brightness.
Well, thank you very much for being here with us today. And we look forward to many of the interactions that are coming up in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. We look forward to speaking with you again soon.
You're back.
I'm back. I am. I'm back.
How do you feel?
Light.
Uh-huh. Okay, to wrap up, if people want to get in touch with you, how do they do that?
So my website is Bosie International, BOSIE, international.com. My telephone number, if someone wants to call me, is 416-358-1457. And of course, anyone can email me at gail@bosieinternational.com. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest, all under Bosie International.
Very good. Well, Gail, thank you very much for being on the program, and I'm sure there's lots more coming.
Thank you very much for having me.
Well, folks, that's our show for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll come back for some more. You can download and or listen to this podcast or any of the other 36 or so by going to my website at www.peterhdennis.com. Once there, if you click on the podcast tab, you will see section number 2, where you can click on the channeler's name and then listen or download from there. Well, that's it, folks. Until next time, be uplifting for someone and expand your own consciousness. Bye for now.